The Library of Babel is a fictional universe made up of an almost infinite number of hexagonal rooms. Each room is arranged in the same way, 20 bookshelves, 5 on each side, filling 4 of the 6 sides. Each bookshelf holds 32 books. Each book contains a title and 410 pages. Each page 40 lines, each line 80 characters. In this world we are given 22 letters, 1 period, 1 space, and 1 comma, for a total of 25 unique characters to work with. From this definition, the total sum of all possible books is 25 to the power of 1,312,000, which, when calculated, yields a 1.9 million digit number. The internet is a digital world comprised of a massive number of websites. Each website is created in the same manner, HTML and a link. HTML determines what the website looks like and its contents, while the link allows you to access the website. As of today, the index web contains at least 6.71 billion pages. In both cases, there are a lot of striking similarities. Both contain vast amounts of data. It could be complete meaningless gibberish or the single most important work ever written. In the Library of Babel, you could find a book solely made of periods to form intricate ASCII art, next to a guide on how to manufacture a nuclear bomb. In the case of the internet, you can see 2.8 billion websites on a shitpost like the e-meme, next to the literal white paper on how Google's ranking algorithm was created. Let's talk about algorithms. In Solar Sand's video, he states how we can never find anything useful in the books. The vast majority of them are completely meaningless, filled to the brim with what could only be created when monkeys, subjected to our cruel imaginations, are forced to press random keys until every single page was tortured into existence. It would be completely pointless to even try and find a book of meaning. If only there was a librarian who could organize this alphabet soup. This type of chaos was exactly what the internet was like back in the 1990s to the early 2000s. It was a mishmash of websites that could only be accessed if you knew the URL. Like the Library of Babel, people had a hard time exploring the web. You could try typing in a string of characters into the search bar and hoping it directs you to a website that exists. More likely than not, the only way you knew what sites to go to was through word of mouth. In the tale of the Library of Babel, some believed in the existence of a book that contains an index to the entire library. The book would essentially be a map of that universe, and whoever obtained the book would become a godlike figure known as the Man of the Book. This person would know exactly where every single book was in this massive endless labyrinth, and could easily find any book they wanted. In the case of the internet, this mystical figure would manifest in a new concept called a search engine. Like a librarian, the search engine helped catalog and retrieve whatever you wanted. This would be the earliest form of a large-scale artificial intelligence, something that would act as an omnipotent, omniscient being, a kind of all-knowing ruler and governor. The algorithm would prove to be one of the most important creations of this millennia so far. It chooses what to show and what you see. Today, virtually everything on the web is governed by some type of ranked search. Are you looking for a product on Amazon? Here, decide between the 5-star 100 reviews or the 4-star 1000 reviews. Or you could buy this suspiciously cheap one being promoted by a nonsensical company stationed in China. Do you want to listen to a new song that fits your taste? What about overloading your dopamine with social media? With so much content being posted every day, the almighty algorithm holds your hand and leads you down past seemingly endless rows of shelves to your comfort corner. Of course, you could go out and explore, but this only happens if another fellow web enthusiast introduces you to their corner. By far the most impressive algorithm in my opinion is the YouTube algorithm. It is undoubtedly the world's largest video librarian, able to parse through images and audio at the same time. Back in the early years, the algorithm was simple: show videos that had a lot of views on the homepage. This worked great until you realized it got stuck in an endless cycle of only showing videos from large channels, since of course their videos had the most views. Newer channels had to hope their videos would go viral in order to make it to the front page, and since it was based on view count, you bet there was a shit ton of clickbait capitalizing on this weakness. Today, the algorithm focuses on watch time and retention rate, which claims to be a much better metric of measuring what the audience wants to see. But is it really? Do I really want to spend my time looking at a 25-minute video of a dude transforming his neighbor's overgrown lawn? Or the constant bombardment of a Mr. Beast video? Or yet another video explaining how artificial intelligence works and why it will doom humanity or give us crippling hopelessness? By promoting content that focuses on making sure you watch all the way through, all the homepage videos have begun to degenerate into fast-paced, tightly edited videos with no room to breathe. It's a destructive cycle of you and the man of the book falling down the rabbit hole of maximizing watch time without regard for anything else. I mean, think about it. How many videos do you remember watching and can recall what they were about? What was the video you watched before this one? Do you remember what you watched 2 videos ago before this one? It's a dangerous game to follow someone who leads you exactly to what you want to see. Are you feeling depressed? Okay, let me show you some depressing memes so you can drown in your own tears. Oh, you think you're feeling philosophical? Okay, let's spam you with endless videos on philosophy so you get an existential crisis. The hive mind is the hexagon you willingly choose to trap yourself in. The algorithm keeps you feeling content and leaves no room for growth. It's important that since the library is basically infinitely sized and you're a finite being, that you learn to choose what books to read. (1920 by 1080). That is the standard resolution of most screens today. That equates to 2,073,600 pixels. All these shiny dots define a good portion of our modern life. Anything that we do on our phones and computers, like scrolling through social media, playing video games, or creating content, all require us to look at this 2D plane. It's an incredible thing to think about that any image, video, or document can be displayed within the confines of this magical canvas. Every pixel works together to create a meaningful work of art for you, for example, something like the messages between you and your best friend. In the previous section where I focused on the web, all the content in this digital library was painstakingly created through man-hours of sweat. Now, just like the Library of Babel, what if the content we have been producing could also be generated by a higher dimensional being? The same higher dimensional being that is organizing the library. As of 2023, generative AI has made large advancements in the form of GPT models for text and diffusion for images, with ChatGPT and Midjourney being the most prominent examples. No longer do we need a human to create art from scratch. All that's required now is a prompt. The Canvas of Babel is a great philosophical abstraction of our digital life. It is a website comprised of an infinitely sized grid of randomly colored pixels. Similarly, the universal slideshow is comprised of images that are 416 rows by 640 columns. If you navigate the image slideshow, all you see is random noise. But that's exactly the starting point for an art-generating AI, whose purpose is to start with noisy images and refine it into a comprehensible picture. It's poetic and scary. Generative AI is now even making headlines with strides towards audio and even video. Making comparisons now, we see that the songs are still distinguishable and the AI videos are very bad and laughable. And all the audio right now is being used to impersonate celebrities just to make them say funny things or play Minecraft together. But now, we can no longer doubt the progress of this machine. If you recall, chatbots and AI art 10 years ago looked like this. Another one of Jorge Luis Borges' famous pieces of writing centered around the concept of infinity is the Book of Sand. A book that keeps adding pages as you flip through it, filled with text and occasional images. A book that can write itself. Isn't that what generative AI is? AI has graduated from simple autocomplete to writing full-length novels. Forget duplicating works of Shakespeare. What about writing a completely original play instead? We have enslaved those monkeys and trained them to perfection. At the end of Solar Sand's video, he says we can create the library by writing books, but we now live in a world where human consciousness is no longer necessary to do such a thing. AI poses a serious threat to human expression. It sort of silences us. Why do we even try to express ourselves if AI appears to be just as competent, but can do 1,000 times faster? From search algorithms to now image generation and script writing, AI seems to have begun to replace humans, and that creates a huge identity crisis for us. Were we not unique in that we are the creators? With looming threats of AI-generated audio and even fragments of video upon us, why do we still try? A majority of artists hate AI for a reason. Artists who take hours to hone their craft are now being threatened by something that can do it in seconds. It metaphorically and literally robs their identity. Their unique style and brush are replicated through as training data and then mass-produced for fast consumption. But what has happened cannot be undone. Artificial intelligence will be a tool whether we like it or not. And like any tool, it will be used and abused. Right now, everyone's trying to figure out how to incorporate AI into their company. We have ads from Grammarly showing off how their version of ChatGPT will help you write better and faster. We have Adobe's new Photoshop feature that uses AI to do whatever you want to your photos. We even got chatbot apps trying to profit off the vulnerability and loneliness of the modern era. The coming decade will be a dark and messy road filled with walking a thin line of ethics and morality. The one comforting thing I can say about AI is it will not stifle human creativity. Our lives are half consumption and half creation, a sharing of ideas. The one difference is, while the Library of Babel and by extension our universe may be infinite, we are not. We live a finite life, and that makes everything we do all the more valuable. With infinite possibilities and limited time, we get to choose what to value. All I can say to artists and anyone producing any type of art, whether it be a pastime or a job, continue to do what gives you expression. Keep creating and be proud that you are the one who created it. And know that what you have just made is just as unique as any other piece of work, and it didn't exist until you brought it into this world. AI cannot kill human expression. AI cannot kill our innate desires to express ourselves. And while we may be a little slower to produce content, that makes it all the more meaningful and worthwhile.